I will see my awesome son get married to a wonderful woman next week. That may not seem very extraordinary to you, but 10 years ago, I wasn't even sure I would see him graduate from college. In September 2005, we had started a major remodeling project on our home. The front of our home, which included our bedroom, was blocked off and we were living in the back of the house, and the only way in and out of the house was up and down a 15-step staircase. I'd had some stomach problems and chalked it up to a stomach bug in September, or maybe I'd eaten some contaminated seafood from the Gulf after Katrina. I really didn't eat much at all for 3 weeks. Yet, my stomach started enlarging, and in a 2-week time period, I looked 8 months pregnant. Shortly afterwards, I had a diagnosis of suspected ovarian cancer. I called my son at college and broke the news to him. I've got good news and I've got bad news. The good news is you shouldn't have to worry about an unexpected sibling. The bad news is I probably have ovarian cancer. I had major debulking surgery for stage 3 ovarian cancer, including removal of 9.5 liters of fluid from my abdomen, and started chemo a week later. I had some complications and 2 more trips to the hospital in as many weeks. My poor husband, he was taking care of me and working through a merger at work. At one point, my sister was very scared because she saw no life in my eyes. In the hospital, I told God I wanted to live. I ended up with a wound vac for 2 months and an incision that didn't want to heal. All this with construction going on daily. I finished chemo in February. Of course, remodeling finished in March. Now, it is a miracle for a marriage to survive remodeling. Can I hear an amen? But not only had our marriage survived, but so had I. Family and friends helped me through that time and through subsequent surgeries, including knee replacements, since then. It would take me until tomorrow to list all their kindnesses. As I got better after chemo, I resumed caretaking duties. My husband's mother and stepmother each lived alone but needed assistance with many activities of daily living. I was a sponsor for a widowed family friend with MS who had been in a nursing home since 2001 and resumed that role. A church friend who had worked there had taken that responsibility for me while I was down. Good news! I saw my son graduate from Belmont University the following December and get his first teaching job 45 minutes north of Chicago. Now, cancer doesn't run in our family, it gallops. I started increased surveillance for breast cancer, mammograms, ultrasounds, MRIs, which resulted in 5 breast biopsies in 3 years. Since ovarian cancer hadn't gotten me, I started seriously considering prophylactic breast surgery. I really appreciated the local GYN cancer support group called CanSurvive and got more involved with it. I ended up being its vice president and became its president in August of 2008. Now, earlier that year, my husband had taken a job with the bank in New Orleans and could work from Birmingham. By the fall, he took another position in the bank, which required that he work in New Orleans. We rented a place in New Orleans and moved in the week between 2 hurricanes. The apartment turned out to be about 1 mile from world-renowned breast surgeons that specialized in reconstruction. That wasn't a coincidence, that was a God instance. I had bilateral prophylactic mastectomies and hernia repair and reconstruction surgeries there in 2009. I went to my first Mardi Gras shortly after reconstruction and bragged to my surgeons about how many beads I had caught. He looked at me real funny. I had only waved my hands to get beads on St. Charles Avenue along with the families, but I think he thought I was on Bourbon Street showing off his work. However, I did order a personalized ovarian cancer car tag that said, "New Girls." My husband supported my desire to still head the support group in Birmingham, even though it meant I would have to travel back and forth every month. This has been going on for 7 years. Neighbors also enable me to do this. I'm in Birmingham for the majority of the 2 meetings per month, fundraisers, and awareness events. I participate annually in Survivors teaching students, talking to second-year medical students to help them recognize the signs and symptoms of ovarian cancer since there is no early detection test. Our CanSurvive GYN Cancer Support Group has women who are new to treatment, have chronic cancer, or are struggling in their battle. We all help and encourage each other and learn how to advocate for ourselves. We are examples to each other that a cancer diagnosis does not mean that we stop living. By far, the most important thing I do is talk one-on-one with patients, no matter where they are in their cancer journey. Newly diagnosed patients are often scared not only of what their diagnosis means, but also about what their treatment will be like. I can help with their apprehension and give them a list of practical tips on coping with chemo. I talk with many women at length in the hospital or on the phone or via email. I have been with many women at the end of their earthly journey too. The vice president of our group was a wise, kind woman with chronic cancer, and she and I could talk very frankly. One particular autumn, the number of ladies we lost really got to me, so I called to talk to her. Her words to me were, "Well, you know, Cheryl, we're not in the broken arm support group." Indeed. Over the years, I've planned most of CanSurvive's meetings, which can tackle the tough topics when needed, but tend to be upbeat. I use humor often. We took a group picture holding a treatment applied sign out of my yard. We held it in front of us, and I sent the picture to our oncologist. Laughing makes us all feel better, so I pushed for a comedy club fundraiser. People just had to come and enjoy themselves for an evening. And the best part of it was I got to stand on stage and tell corny jokes. My second act, I'm Cheryl, a survivor, a voice for ovarian cancer, a person who eases the way for others in their life journeys. And next Saturday, I am the mother of the groom.